Hi everyone. I hope your day was good. So today, welcome to the day one. Today we will be introducing you to some basic GitHub commands. Now, GitHub is a process which we learn starting with the Git and GitHub.
Meenal, your
Then
screen
we
is not
learn with
visible.
the basic Git analogy for contributing to the
Excuse me, Meena.
open source project, hosting a website on GitHub pages. Okay, if you
Excuse me,
want to
Meenal.
track your project, then how will you do it?
Meenal, am I
The
audible?
slide is not visible. Can you make sure the slide is visible?
Okay, so if you want to track your project, how will you do it? What is Git? Git is an open source version control tool created in 2005 by developers working on Linux operating system. Okay, now we have Linus Torvalds, the creator of version control system Git, principal developer of Linux kernel. Okay, now I've mentioned that Git is a version control system. What is a version control system? Version control, also known as a source control. Source control is practice of managing and tracking changes to software code. Version control systems are software tools that help software teams manage changes to source code over time. Like if you're working on a project and you want to track the changes that you're doing in the course of time, then you use Git. As the development environments have accelerated, version control systems help software teams work smarter and faster. They are specially used by the development teams since they help them to reduce the development time and increase successful deployments. Now, version control system is also used if you did a mistake in your previous commit, then you can go back to it. Okay. So version control systems keeps a track of every modification to the code in a special kind of database. If a mistake is made, developers can turn back the clock and compare easier versions of the code to help them fix it. Okay. So now we will be going on to how does the GitHub and Git work. There, as you can see in the diagram, three workstations. Workstation is your own laptop where you write the code, you commit it to Git, and then you push it to GitHub. GitHub is a remote repository which many people can see depending on what repository have you made. Okay, then if you have to do any changes, again after pushing it to GitHub, you can pull the command, you can update it, and then the cycle goes on. Now, advantages of Git. Git is a speedy, simplicity, fully distributed, excellent support system for parallel development, free and open source, security, no need of powerful hardware, and easier branching. GitHub is a company founded in 2008 that makes the tools which integrate with Git. GitHub is a Git repository hosting service. GitHub is very popular these days. As you can see, 40 million users and 100 million repositories. Now, let's go on to the terminologies. As I told you, it depends on how you can see a Git repository. Repository are of two kinds, public and private. Git repository is a folder inside your system where all your project files are located, a directory or a storage space where your projects can live. This is how it looks like when you create a repository. You can see owner name, then repository name, then description, which is optional, and then you get private repository. Public repository is that anyone can see the repository and you can choose who can commit. Private repositories are only some people can see it. It depends on how many collaborators have you made. You can see initialize this repository with a readme. Readme is a file which tells you what the project is about. Then you can see .git ignore. In .git ignore, we put the files which we don't want the Git to track. Let's suppose you have a bunch of images which you don't want GitHub to track. So you use .git ignore. Then what is the difference between public and private repositories? It is that public has unlimited collaborators, whereas private has limited collaborators. How do you initialize a Git repository? Now, mkdir, my project, which is creating a new project, new folder in your project. Okay, then you go to the cd, my project. Cd works for changing directory to our project folder. Then initializing the current folder as a repository, git init. Git init makes a file which is .git, which keeps the directory of all configuration and metadata necessary for Git to keep a track of all of our files and the changes that we make in them. The directory name starts with a dot to signify that it's a hidden file. Hidden files are not normally shown to the user by the operating system. You can use ls-a command to view the .git file. Now, the next command is git status. Git status is a command that displays the state of the working directory and the staging area. It lets you see which changes have been staged, which haven't, which files are being tracked by Git. Status output does not show any information regarding the committed project history. Okay, so you can see untracked, staged, committed. You go from untracked to staged from git add, then staged to committed from git commit, and then you can do the reset if you want to go to the previous commit. Git status, to check the status, all the tracked untracked files come in red color and on the tracked files come in green color. As you can see in the next slide, the changes that are to be committed are in the green, that have been staged, and which aren't been staged are in the red one. Okay, so this I have already told you: untracked, staged, committed. And from git add, you can go from untracked to staged, and when from staged to committed is git commit. Then the git add command. The git add command adds a change in the working directory to the staging area. It tells Git that you want to include updates to a particular file in the next commit. The primary function of the git add command is to promote the pending changes in the working directory to the staging area. If you don't use git add, then the source code that you're using will not be staged and it will not be tracked by Git. We usually use git add and git command together. Now the next is git commit. Git commit is a command. It takes a snapshot of the state of the repository at a particular time. Git commit command captures the snapshot of the project's currently state changes. Committed snapshots can be thought of saved versions of the project. Git will never change them unless you explicitly ask them to. Prior to the execution of git commit, the git add command is used to promote or stage the changes to the project that will be stored in a commit. The two commands, git commit and git add, are most frequently used together. This is how it looks like. Now we have used git status to see what is the state of the working directory that we are working on. It's telling us to use git add file name. Like if I have to make changes in index.html, then we use git add index.html. But we can't use that on every file, so we use the command git add dot. So it adds all the files together. Then we use git commit -a-m. -m stands for the message that we are doing. Like if I've created a button in a HTML file, I can write git commit -a-m created a button. So this is how git add and git commit works. Now, I've been talking about working area, staging area, and repository. From working directory to staging area, we come from git add. Then staging area to repository, we come to git commit. Okay. Now, working area is where files are not handled by Git. These files are also referred as untracked files. Staging area are the files that are going to be the part of the next commit, and which let that what changes in the file are going to occur for the next commit. Now, the push command. A push command is used to upload local repository content to a remote repository. Pushing is how you transfer commits from the local repository to a remote repository. Now we have used git status. So it shows on the main branch, nothing to commit, working tree clean. Okay, so then this git remote add origin, then you can see the link. This link can be found in the GitHub. Now the link can also be named as origin. You can name it anything else, but now we will take origin as the name of the link. Okay, so now we have used git remote v. Git remote v is used to view all the remote repositories that we are working on. So this is file is for the fetch and this is for the push. Then we use git push origin main, that we are that means that we are pushing the main branch into the origin, that is the URL. Okay, so this pushes the repository there. So that's it for today. Now Bhavi will do the hands-on if you have any questions. Bhav will do the hands-on after this. So, Bhavi, on to you.
Thank you, Meenal. It was a wonderful presentation. Okay, there's a doubt by Prithpal. Where do we have to type these commands? We will type these commands on git bash. Yeah. Can we start recording the slides? No, you will get a YouTube recording. You will get the YouTube link, so you can watch it from there if you want to. Okay, so hello everyone. My name is Bhavya, and so far you must have got a fair idea of what is Git and what is GitHub. So without wasting much time, let's start the coding stuff now. Let me present my screen. Is it visible? Can someone confirm? Okay, cool. So right click on your desktop and you can see Git Bash here. So click on it and it will open your Git Bash. So this is our terminal and here we will write all these commands to perform our actions. So one thing to note here is that by default, our terminal points to our desktop. Okay, so if we want to create a new file or a new folder, it will be by default created on desktop. If in case we want to create on our drive D or C, we can also do that. There are different commands for that. But by default, our terminal points on our desktop. So, okay, now let's create a first file. For that, there's a command called mkdir. It means make directory and followed by our folder name. Let's name a folder test. Okay. Now press enter. You can see on your desktop that there's a folder created by the name test. Okay. So now, as I mentioned earlier, our terminal by default points on our desktop. So if I want to create a new file inside my folder test, which I've created just right now, for that, I need to change my directory and go inside the folder test. So for that, there's a command called cd. It means change directory. And after that, we have to write the folder name in which we want to go in. I want to go inside my folder test. So I'll write test here. If I press enter, you can see here, earlier my terminal was pointing to desktop. Now I'm inside my test folder. So from now on, if I create a new file or a new folder, it will be created in my test folder. All right. So now let's create a first file inside a folder test. It can be done by a command touch. So I'll write touch and then the file name. Let's name our file chapter1. And I have to write the file type also here. So let's make it a txt file. And I'll press enter here. Now, till now, I've created a folder test and a file inside my folder test whose name is chapter1.txt. I can verify it. For that, there's also one command called start. And you have to press space, then press dot. And if you press enter, you can see it will open your file test and it's showing that we have successfully created a file chapter1.txt inside a folder test. So yeah, now if I open this file, you can see it's an empty file right now. So let me add some data in it. Hello, this is chapter 1. I'll save this file and I will close it. I'll close this folder also. Okay, so far we have created a file chapter1.txt and we have added some data in it. So these were the basic commands of terminal. This had no relation with Git right now. So now let's include Git in it. There's a command called git init. What this command does is it will initialize your current repository it will initialize your current folder as a repository. Okay, and if I press enter here, you can see it says initialized empty git repository and the directory which is inside my test folder. And also it created a .git folder inside my test folder. So what is the work of .git folder? So basically .git folder contains all the information which is necessary for our project in version control, and it also contains the information about commits and remote repositories. So I can verify that this .git folder is made inside my test folder or not with the help of a command. So the command is ls -here. So what this command does is, I press enter here. As you can see, I have created a chapter1.txt file, and it also shows that I have created a .git file also. So this .git file was created with the help of command git init, and yeah, that's it. So any doubts till now? Okay, are you guys able to cope up with me, or am I going too fast? Little slow. Okay, please explain ls command. Okay, I'll explain ls command again. Ls command is used to ls command will show you all the contents which are present inside inside your folder. So if I type ls and press enter, it will show me that I have a one file by the name chapter1.txt. And if I type ls and -a, it will show me the hidden files which are present inside the folder test. So yeah, basically ls will show you all the files which are present inside your file. Git init too, please. Okay, git init, I'll explain it again. Git init will initialize your current folder as your repository, and it will also create a .git file. As you can see, it's showing me inside my content, and this .git file contains all the information that is necessary for your project in version control. Okay. Okay. Now moving forward, till now we have created a folder and we have created one file chapter1.txt, and we have added some content in it. Okay. So till now Git was not keeping track of my files that I've created inside my folder test. So if in case by accident I delete this file chapter1.txt, I won't be able to bring this file back inside my folder test. So to let Git keep track of these files, there's a command called git add. So I can do git add followed by the file name which is inside my folder, and it is chapter1.txt. So I did git add, then the file name which is inside my folder, and I'll press enter. And yeah, now I have successfully added my files from my working area. Working areas was this to a staging area. Staging area is kind of an imaginary area. So it contains the staging area contains all the files that are going to be part of my next commit. Commit is basically my save point, which I keep on creating after I do a small amount of work. And staging area also let the Git know what changes in the file are going to occur for the next commit. So, okay, now I have added my files to my staging area. Now let me introduce you to a new command called git status. Okay, so the git status command checks git status command check what's inside my staging area. So as you can see, right now it's showing me in green color that my chapter1.txt is inside my staging area and it is ready to be committed, or I can say it is ready to get saved. So after adding my files, the next step that we do is commit our files. So for that, there's a command git commit -m. -m basically means the message that we will write right now. So you have to write a message each time you commit your files inside the inverted commas. You can type anything here. So let me write added chapter 1. Then I'll press enter here. So I have successfully committed my file. Now, who all received an error here? You can type in the chat box. What is staging area and what is working area? Okay. Working area is this area, the normal interface that you encounter with. Okay. Staging area, you can think it of as an imaginary area. So when you type git add, you transfer your files from a working area, that is from here, to the staging area. So what are they? What is staging area? Staging area contains all the files that are going to be part of next commit. So I wanted to commit my file chapter1.txt. So I first added my chapter1.txt file to my staging area. Then I committed this file. Then I committed this file. Working area. Okay, so no one received an error here. Are you seeing some kind of error like this? Let me show you. Did someone received an error like this or not? Yes. So Meeraj received this error. Okay, Smith also. Okay, so you might be seeing two commands like this, one for username and one for your email address. So this is nothing. This you have to do only one time. It's this basically sets your username and email address. This is important because every git commit uses this information. So this is only one time error. You have to type this command. Let me paste this command in the chat box also. There's one more command. So first you can copy this command and you have to replace this with your first name and type your name inside your inverted commas. And after that, you can press enter. Yeah, I think I did something wrong. Working area and staging area clear. Yeah, Pritpal, that's nice, but that's the error that some people might get. So for that, you have to write this command. So for the first command, you have to replace the first name and last name with your first name and last name. And for the second command, which is this, you have to replace it with your email address with which you have created your GitHub account. So let's say xyz@gmail.com. Do let me know when you have done with this command. Till then, any doubt? Okay, Asmit, are you able to do this or not? Done, Miraj. Okay, that's nice. It might ask for some authorization also from GitHub. It will open your browser, but that's only one-time thing. You can link it with your GitHub account. And yeah. Okay, so I think if everyone's done, then I will move forward. Okay, so there's a command called git log. So till now, we have successfully added our file chapter1.txt. You can see here chapter1.txt to our staging area. And then we have committed that file chapter1.txt. So if you want to check the commit status, so there's a command called git log. If you press enter, you can see it will show you the log of your commit status. It is basically like your checkpoints in the games. As you can, if you have noticed, you create various checkpoints and it shows you the time that game was saved and of what name it was saved and so on. So you can see it's showing my name, email address, and the time it was saved, and it's also showing me the commit message which I have added earlier. And it also shows a unique hash code. Each hash is uniquely identified for the particular commit. So yeah, that's for git log. Moving forward, let's create two more files inside a folder test. So for that, this command touch, and let's name my file chapter2.txt. Okay. Now let's create one more file, touch chapter3.txt. Now with the help of touch command, I've created two files, chapter2.txt and chapter3.txt. You can verify it with the help of command start, space, and dot. So if you press enter, the folder will open and you can see there are two files, chapter2 and chapter3 created. Now if I open chapter2, it's empty right now. So let's add some data. Hello, this is chapter2. We'll save this file and close it. Now let's open our chapter3 and add some data in it. Hello, this is chapter3. I'll save this file and close it. I'll close this folder also. And yeah, now we have created two more files inside our folder test. Now, as we did earlier, we are going to perform the same commands again. So as you can see, these files right now are in my working area. And if in case I delete chapter2 or chapter3, Git will have no track of these files. So to let Git have a track of these files, I need to add these files to my staging area. Now, as we did earlier, we did git add followed by the file name. So right now we want to add chapter2.txt and chapter3.txt to our staging area. So what we can do is type chapter2.txt, press enter, and then type git add, then chapter3.txt, and then enter. But right now, as you can imagine, there are only two files. But what if we have created 10 files or 20 files? We can't write each file's name individually. So for that, there's a command. What you can do, you have to type git add only, but press space and press dot. So this dot will add all your files into a staging area. So instead of individually adding your files to a staging area, git add space dot will add all your files to a staging area. If I press enter, yeah, so all my files are successfully added to staging area. You can confirm it with the help of command git status. As I said earlier, the git status is used to check what's inside my staging area. So now if I press enter, you can see these files, chapter2.txt and chapter3.txt, are successfully added to my staging area and are ready to be committed. Okay, so are you guys able to follow up with me? Done. Why didn't chapter 1 did show here? It's because we have already added chapter 1 to our staging area. Chapter 2 and chapter 3 were the files which weren't present in our staging area. So that's why chapter 1 is not shown here. If you want to see that what are the contents of my file, I can type ls. You can see. ls is showing that my folder test contains chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. Since what start for? Start is to open your folder. If you press start followed by a dot, it will open your folder. You can also open a file. Type start and type the file name. Let's say I want to open chapter1.txt. You can see it will open my chapter1.txt. Okay, moving forward. So as you can see, I have added my files to staging area. Now after adding my files to staging area, the next step is to commit these files or to save these files. So for that, I'll write git commit -m. -m stands for the message. And in inverted commas, I'll write the message. So you can type anything here. I'll write added. It's preferable to write what's in context, what work you are doing. Like I am adding chapter 2 and chapter 3. So that's why I've added chapter 2 and chapter 3. And I'll press enter there. So you can see it says 2 files changed. I've added 2 files. And yeah, it's successfully committed. So if I type git status again, it says nothing to commit, working tree clean. Earlier when I typed git status, it showed me that there are 2 files which are yet to be committed. And after committing these files, it shows that nothing to commit, working tree clean. I can also check my commit status with the help of git log. And yeah, you can see my first git log, earlier it was showing that I have added chapter 1. Now it's showing me that I have added chapter 2 and chapter 3. And it's showing me the time, the name is same, and it also contains a unique hash code. So yeah. Okay, any doubts till now? What is working tree? Working tree is your branch in which you are working. So right now, by default, we are working on master branch. You can create multiple branches, and you will learn about branching in tomorrow's session. So yeah, what is git log? Git log is used to check your commit status. Basically, it will show all your commit history. So till now, I have created 2 commits, and it's showing me that it's showing me the history of 2 commits. Okay, no doubts. So I'm moving forward. Okay. So now let me open my file chapter3.txt. I will write start followed by the file name chapter3.txt. So okay, it's open. Now what if by mistake I accidentally press something on my keyboard and I mess up this content? And I've accidentally saved the file and even closed it. Now even if I open it again, you can see it saved it. I'm pressing Ctrl Z, nothing is happening, and I basically messed up my file. So here Git comes to save your life. So there's a command called git checkout. This command will roll back all the contents of chapter 3 to the last version it was committed. So before checkout, let me introduce you with one more command, which is called git diff. So let me type git diff and followed by the file name, which is chapter3.txt. Just a second. Yeah. So this git diff command will show me the changes which are done in my file chapter3.txt. So you can see earlier my content was hello, this is chapter 3, and now and it's showing me in red color because it's removed right now. And right now my content is this, which is the messed up data, and the current data is shown in green color. So git diff will basically show me all the changes which are done in my file after the latest commit. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I have messed this code and now I want to go back to its previous version. So for that, this command git checkout, and I want my chapter3.txt file to go to its previous state. So so I will write that file name chapter3.txt. So if I press enter here, it says updated one path from the index. Okay, what has happened? Let's open our chapter 3 file, and you can see earlier it was all messed up, but with the help of a simple command git checkout, I am able to get my data back, and it's looks better much right now. Okay, so any doubts again? Yeah, git checkout is like magic. So okay, till now we have worked with our local repository. We have made our data. We have made our data, and it's time to go to GitHub and push all of our data to GitHub. So for that, open your browser and type GitHub. Open the first link, and it will ask for login for you guys. It's already logged in for me. So type your email address and password with which you have created your GitHub account. I'm waiting for a few seconds so that you can log in. Please explain git diff again. Okay. So git diff will basically compare the data of your file with its previous content and with the content that is right now. So previously my content was this. Hello, this is chapter 3. And right now my content is this, which is the messed up content. So it will basically show me that previously your data was this, and right now your data is this. So if I want to roll back to my previous data, so I can roll back by seeing this data. Okay, so let's go to our GitHub. Go to top right corner of your GitHub and click on your repositories. Okay. So okay, now click on here the green button new. It will create your new repository. If I click here, you might have seen such similar interface in the slides also. Okay, now let's create a new repository. It asks for a name. You can name it anything. Let's name it GitHub session. And it asks for a description, which is completely optional. Let's leave it blank here. And now it asks whether I want to create my repository public or private. So if I create a public repository, anyone else can also see my repository. If I create it private, no one will be able to see except your consent. So I recommend you to use public right now and click on create repository. So yeah, you have successfully created a repository on GitHub. And now let's add our data from our test folder to this GitHub repository. So for that, you need to copy this link. As you can see here, you can click here and yeah, let's go back to our terminal. Okay. So now to add your data to your GitHub, there's a command called git remote add origin. So here, first we have to create a remote, which is telling our local repository that I have created a remote repository somewhere on the internet, and I want to transfer my files on the internet. So that's what remote is. And what does origin mean here? Origin is the name of remote. So you can call anything here. We are referencing our remote as origin. So that's why we have written origin here. So git remote, add origin. And now you have to paste the link that we have copied from our GitHub repository. You can paste it by pressing Shift and Insert. You can't paste it by Control and V. You have to press Shift and Insert, or you can right click and paste it. Now let's press Enter. Okay. Now we are only one command away to push all of our data to GitHub. So now let's write that command. It is git push -u origin master. So now what does this mean? So this command basically pushes your local repository to your remote repository. Here your remote repository is your GitHub repository and local repository is your the test folder. It is your local repository. And your remote repository is your GitHub repository, which you have created just right. So this command will push your local repository to remote repository, and -u here is used to link up your local repository with your remote repository. And as I have told earlier, origin is the name of the remote, and master is the branch name. Master is a default branch on GitHub. There are many more branches that you can create, which you will learn in tomorrow's session. So right now we are focusing on master branch only. So after this command, you can press enter. It will take some time. And yes, we have successfully pushed our data from our local repository to the remote repository. And if you go to your GitHub and refresh it, you can see all of the files from our local repository are transferred to our remote repository. As you can see, we have only created chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3 files, and these are successfully there. You can also check the data. Hello, this is chapter 1. And yeah, hello, this is chapter 2, and hello, this is chapter 3. So all of your data from the test folder, as you can see, only 3 files were there, are now successfully pushed from your computer to your GitHub repository. So yeah, any doubts? So explain it again. Okay. Just okay. So by default, our branch is master. So Git Bash is using master as its default branch. Could you please repeat? Pariyashi, what part you want me to repeat again? Can you please write it? Please explain git diff again. Okay, Miraj, I'll explain it. Adding data to GitHub. Okay. Prithpal, you will learn more about what is branch in tomorrow's session, as I said earlier. So don't worry what is branch or what is this. Just for today's session, you can think that we are adding some data to a file whose name is master. You can think it of like this. Okay, so adding data to GitHub. Okay, so to add data to GitHub, there are basically 2 commands. Okay, so one command is, let me write them again, just a sec. Yeah, so one command is git remote. Remote, as I said earlier, we have to create remote, which remote tells our local repository that I have created a remote repository somewhere on the internet and I want to transfer my files there. So that's what remote is. And to name a remote, we are using origin. So the command is git remote add origin. Git remote add origin followed by the link that we have copied here. So with the help of this command, you add your you link your GitHub repository with your local repository. And after this command, there's one more command, which is push. It is git push and -u origin master. This whole command is used to push your local repository to remote repository, and here -u basically links up your local repository with the remote repository. This is your remote repository and this is your local repository, and master is your default branch on GitHub. So with the help of these two commands, you can push your data from your local repository to the remote repository. Okay, I'll share the cheat sheet, Harshit. Okay, so guys, ask your doubts. That's it for today's session. Today's session was just for how you can add your files from a computer to your GitHub repository. And we have already done that. We have added our files from our computer to our GitHub repository. Now you have successfully created your GitHub repository by the name of GitHub session, and it have your data in it. So if you have any doubts, ask in the chat box. Please, yeah, git diff. Okay. Okay, now let me open two files. I have opened my folder test. I have opened my file chapter2.txt, and let's mess this up. Can we create any other file format except txt? Yes, Principal, you can create any type of file, .cpp, .html, anything, .js, whatever you like. So yeah, I mess up my chapter 2 file. I mess up my chapter 3 file. Okay. Okay, now let's mess up our chapter 1 file also. Now, if I let's say I have messed this up and I don't remember what was my previous content in these files. So for that, the command git diff comes here. I type git diff, and previously I messed up only chapter3.txt file. That's why I specified with its name chapter3.txt. But right now I have messed up 3 files. Okay, so I want to see what was the previous content of all these files. So for that, you can write git diff space dot. You can see it shows me all the data, like my chapter1.txt. Earlier it had data this, now it's changed to this. And similarly for chapter 2, it says my data was this and now it's this. So okay, so you can, if you want to exit from here, you have to press Q. Yeah, and it shows me chapter 3. Yeah, it shows me that what was the previous content and what's the content right now in both of the files. So that's what git diff is used for, because right now the content is very less. I've added only one file, but what if there are hundreds of 200 lines of code? So that's difficult to remember what was the previous code. So if you type git diff, you can compare what was your previous code and what's your code right now. So that is git diff. I hope you got it, Miraj. Red line is your previous content and green line is your the content which is right now. As you can see, it's also showing minus. So I removed this content. So it's showing me red, and now it's showing me in plus, which is in green color. And I replaced this content with this content. Okay, any more doubts? No doubt. Okay, principal. Okay, guys, I'm waiting for your doubts right now. If you don't have any doubts, we can wrap up the session. Just to let you know, in tomorrow's session, we will cover the branching, the fork stuff, how to clone your Git repository, how to give a pull request, and we will also tell you about the Hacktoberfest. So yeah, do join tomorrow's session also. Hacktoberfest is very exciting stuff. You will get to know it about tomorrow.